Hello YouTube, today I'm back again with another gaming pickups video, and yeah, sorry this one is a bit late. As I said in my last video, I have been sick with the stomach flu, but I am all better now, so no need to worry. So that's why I haven't been making videos. If you know anything about the stomach flu, it takes like 4 to 6 days to get over that, so that was awesome. And it happened during the holidays, so that's also great. Yeah, but so, I have a huge pickups video. I got a lot of stuff in this one. I have 14 different games that I got this gaming pickups video. And, yeah, we'll just go in order of oldest stuff to newest stuff. Some of this stuff is Christmas stuff, and I will tell you what is and what isn't when we go through it. And, yeah, we have a ton of variety here. We have, some Game Gear, some Xbox 360, some PS4, some PS1, some PS2, some PSP, some DS. So we got tons of stuff going on. We'll go oldest to newest though, so I'll start off with the Game Gear game. And the first thing I got is another addition to my Game Gear collection. This one is in a bit rougher shape than I normally like to have them, but it is Krusty's Funhouse, and this is another Simpsons platforming game. You play as, the Simpsons characters platforming on the Game Gear. Pretty basic stuff, it's a pretty good game. The Simpsons games on the Game Gear have been pretty reliable in quality, and the graphics look good, the sound is good. Yeah, so I mean, if you're a Simpsons fan, definitely recommend checking this one out. It's really fun, actually. Alright. That would lead us next to the PS1. Alright, and yeah, so a little story. My friend actually started game collecting. He just started. He's starting off with GameCube only. And I told him I would show him around and show him how to get stuff and where to look for deals and whatnot, and give him the ropes and everything. So I took him around, and while we were doing that, I just happened to keep hitting pretty good scores. Nothing too terribly rare, but I did get some pretty cool stuff that I personally would enjoy having. So a lot of this is like from flea markets and stuff, and we went to a couple used game stores as well, and a thrift store. So I'll tell you where everything's from. All right, so this first one is from a local thrift store. And it is Army Men World War Land Sea Air, and it came in okay shape. I got this from the local thrift store. Basically, the local thrift store that I live right near. It focuses more towards children's stuff, so there's not a lot of games there. A lot of action figures and whatnot. If you're into action figures, that would be the place to go for real. But they do have games from time to time that people drop off and donate. So I was looking through those, and I found Army Men, and this one looks to be like a sort of like a combination between like a third-person shooter and like a turret defense game, sort of like the one in the arcade, the old VR arcade game that has the goggles and that come over your face and you shoot like this. I don't remember the name of that, but I used to love playing that in the arcades. Kind of similar to that in a lot of parts. It did come complete. There is a bit of water damage on this, and the disc has some weird coloration issue. I'm not sure if that's just the ink or what's going on there, but the game does work, so I mean, yeah, it wasn't that much either, so yeah. Glad to have that in the collection. I really enjoy the old Army Men games. Army Men 3D, though, is the one that I used to play the most, but I don't have that. Alright, next, I got this one from a local game store. It's called Fix the Adventure by Agetech. This is a very late release PS1 3D platformer or 3D adventure game. It came out in 2003, which is 3 years into the PS2 lifespan, so this is a really late release. My girlfriend actually picked this up because she thought it looked really cute and she wanted to play it, and we both tested it out. This has to be one of the weirdest games that I probably own. It's not... The mechanics are there. I mean, I guess if you want to call whatever they did mechanics. It's about this cat who swallows a magnet and gets these magnet powers. So it's really weird. It did come complete, and we both tested it. It works. It's really odd mechanics. If you're looking for odd and interesting games for the PS1, this is one I would check out. Next is a game I actually got for free from the flea market. I actually I asked if I could look at it. He said yeah, and the disc was a bit scratched. Not even that bad scratched, really. And he said I could just have it for free because he didn't know if it would work. It does work, by the way. And it is Crash Bandicoot Warped. This is the greatest hits version. I have been looking for this game for a while. I loved playing I rented this one all the time as a kid. And so I'd been looking for it, and I finally got it. And yeah, I shouldn't really need to say much about Crash Bandicoot. It's a 3D platformer. It's tons of fun, and I'm really happy to have this in the collection. And next, we will move on to PS2, I believe, is the next one. Yes, it is. Alright, and we'll go with this one first, because I have this at the flea market also. Okay, so I went to the flea market, and there's these guys that they sell video games, a lot of video games from time to time, but they also sell like other electronics. And they were actually moving their booths, and they were doing like, I think it was like $4 off any of their games just because they were moving them, and they didn't have a lot of stuff on display, so it was like $4 off any game. And they also had a flat rate price on PS2 games at that time, so I was like, you know what? For like that price, I can't go wrong to look through it. So I went through and I found this one. It's called Baroque, and this is an Atlas title. And I actually haven't played it, but it looks sort of like a Devil May Cry style action game. It's got a really cool looking art style. I haven't had the time to test this because, you know, I got like 14 new games to play. It's got in the newer style PS2 case, which means that this came out in 2008, so it's a later PS2 release. Manual is in full color, and yeah, it's an Atlas title, so I mean, I figured it's a pretty safe bet to pick this one up and, you know, play it whenever. So yeah, got Baroque. And then I got this one from my usual game store that I like to go to. And this one is in a PS2 exclusive JRPG. And this one just sounded really, really cool. And it is called Rogue Galaxy. I had never heard of this, actually, at all. And it is a PS2 exclusive RPG. And that's really surprising to me. And it is developed as a first-party game by Sony Computer Entertainment. So I have no idea anything about this. It did come complete, though, with the manual and the disc. It looks kind of like a it's got a like a semi-action based combat system, sort of like the Final Fantasy 13 and 12 and stuff. Yeah, it's got some really good graphics for the time period, and it's just really cool. You know, it's got like a space pirate kind of deal going on, which is always awesome. And I always love like the space pirate kind of thing. So I mean, it's interesting to pick up. I never heard of it. Always happy to have more PS2 JRPGs, though. Alright, and that's all for the PS2. We'll move on to Xbox next, the original Xbox. And the first one is actually my first Christmas gift. This one is from my girlfriend. She said she picked this one up just on a whim because she saw it, and she said it looked really fun and it looked really different, because I always like to get different games. And this one is called Scrapland by American McGee. So I didn't really know anything about this. I actually haven't had a chance to test this because my Xbox isn't hooked up, because I usually have it hooked up to a rear projection like 50-inch TV downstairs, but I don't have it hooked up right now, and I don't feel like moving everything to hook it up. So I haven't actually had a chance to test this, and it doesn't work on the Xbox 360, so that's unfortunate. But it's basically, I read the story in the manual and stuff, which did come complete. And it's about like this post-apocalyptic world where basically humanity has died, and all that's left is the technology robots that humanity had created on this asteroid. And it's basically Earth has turned into a lifeless asteroid. And yeah, and you go through and you basically just solve mysteries and whatnot. And it sounds really sweet, and it's a very different game. I hadn't heard of it at all. And so I'm really interested to check that one out. I'll put that there. Now this one could be put into the Xbox 360 or original Xbox category, but I put it in the original Xbox since it does run on that. And that is the Pocket Bike Racer Burger King game. You can obviously tell what I paid for it because it's right on the top, but it's actually in good shape. There was actually 2 copies of this. One of them was more beat up, but it didn't have any stickers on it. But this one is in nicer shape, and it only had that sticker on it, and right there. And I figured I can deal with stickers. It's not that big of a deal, and the case is in much nicer shape. It did come complete with a Burger King coupon, its manual, and a Xbox Live 48-hour gold trial. I'm not even sure if that's been redeemed yet, but I don't really care. It's probably expired. And the disc, obviously. It's basically just like a kart racer, but, with Burger King characters, I would guess. It's, like, you remember the old Whopper from the Whopper dude from the commercials, and, you have the King, and just like, you have a BK, actual service attendant. So, I mean, yeah. Not much else to say about that. I really want to get all of them just because they're really odd games that you could only get from Burger King. So, I mean, that's always an interesting thing. The last one is the hardest one to find that I need, which is Big Bumpin', I believe it's called. So, alright, the next game I got is for the Nintendo DS. I hardly ever pick up DS games, but I've been looking at it, and the DS basically really reminds me of the PlayStation 1, and I really love the DS cases, the original DS cases. They're so thick, and they're just like a perfect size, and I love the cartridges, and everything about DS it's just very charming system. So I kind of want to pick up some more games for it, but there's not a lot of stuff that I really would like to play on handheld. But there's a lot of exclusive RPGs, so I'm gonna pick up some of those for the Nintendo DS. And the first one I got here is Glory of Hercules. Actually, this isn't the first one. I have Golden Sun Dark Dawn over there. But yeah, this is called Glory of Hercules. I've been looking at this for a while, but I never actually jumped on it. But I saw it at my local used store for a really good deal, much better than any of the prices that I've seen online, so I picked it up. And it did come complete, with your manual, the cartridge, the user manual thing for the DS, and, some other safety information stuff. But yeah, basically this is an RPG. I didn't play too much of this. I played maybe about 20-25 minutes of this one. And it takes place in Greece, and sorry, I have something stuck in my throat. But it takes place in Greece, and it's a turn-based combat system, and I love turn-based games also. But you basically play as a silent guy. At least I don't think he says anything. I haven't actually played enough to know if he actually says anything. But from what I played, he never said a word. So I think you play as a silent protagonist. And you have amnesia, and you wake up on like this island. So I mean, pretty cliche story plot points, but the graphics for this game are very, very well done. The animations are very well done. The dialogue is actually pretty intriguing. I like the characterization of some of these characters. So I mean, well, so far at least. So I'm actually looking forward to playing Glory of Hercules. It is actually, I'm not sure. I think this is a Nintendo first-party game, because it doesn't have any other markings on it except for Nintendo of America. So this might be a first-party game. I'm never sure with Nintendo, though. Alright, so next thing we have are 2 things for PSP. I got these from my local used store. If some of you may know, I am still trying to grow my PSP movie collection, just because I really, really like physical media, number 1. And number 2, I just think that I also really like, game collecting, obviously. But there's a crossover. I'm also a big movie buff, and there's a crossover there between, game collecting and movies at the PSP. So I think that's an interesting thing that I wanted to collect, because I'm really, really into movies also, but I don't really talk about it that often. So, but yeah. First one I picked up is obviously Hollow Man. This one has Kevin Bacon in it. I've watched this movie, I think, twice now. I haven't actually watched the full UMD, but I mean, I've seen the movie before. And I I tested it, make sure it works, and it does. It came complete with the advertisement. I love the UMD movies. How a lot of them have this back artwork, and it came with the UMD, obviously. Basically, what it is about a group of scientists, Kevin Bacon being the lead scientist, trying to develop some kind of formula for invisibility, and obviously they become successful, and the whole point of it is what happens when you become invisible. What would somebody do? And that's basically the point. There's actually a sequel to this movie that sucked. This is actually kind of like a hidden gem movie, I think. I really enjoyed it. But the sequel it wasn't like Batman Forever bad, but it was not a good sequel, so yeah. Hollow Man, I recommend checking that one out. And then the next one I got is another, it's not really hidden gem anymore, but it's a cult classic, and it is Starship Troopers. It is a space sci-fi action movie. Did come complete with a advertisement, and you have the really cheesy looking back artwork, which fits the movie very well. And this is definitely the best Starship Trooper movie. I watched the other two. The second one's terrible. The third one's bearable. But the first one is the classic. And basically it's about these insects that are like a sentient insect species that attack Earth, and so they retaliate, thinking yeah, let's beat up some insects. How hard could that be? And then they actually end up going to war. So it's a very interesting movie, very low budget sci-fi movie from the 90s, and I think it's pretty well done for a low budget movie, and I actually enjoy it. So nice to have that one. Those are all for the PSP movies. And next we'll move on to the Xbox 360. And the first game I got is actually the big game present from my girlfriend, and that is Forza 4. Obviously, she got it brand new, so it did come complete, obviously. I still have to use the download code for the 21 cars, though. Haven't got around to doing that. But, yeah. This game, I actually had been wanting this game, and I'm surprised she actually picked this game, and I really enjoy it. It's a very good game. I actually prefer this over the newer Gran Turismos. I still think Gran Turismo 2 is the best racing game of all time, but this is much better than the newer Gran Turismo games, I think, and I really, really enjoy this Forza game. I love the customization that you can do to your car is insane. I love how much time you can spend on paint and decals. It's so much fun just even customizing your car and then, all that nonsense. So, most people probably know Forza 4, so yeah. I'm really happy to have that one. And the next game I got is one that I actually ordered in the mail. It's a collector's edition. You might have seen the unboxing, you might not have. And it is Otomedius Excellent. And this is a Japanese side-scrolling shooter inspired by Gradius. It's obviously anime styled, and it did come complete, obviously, since I got it brand new. I really, really enjoy anime games, and I enjoy shooters, so I figured this one, why not? It's not the greatest shooter in the world, but it's also not the worst. It's a very average shooter. A lot of people harp on it for the graphics being really bad, but shooters never really have a good budget to begin with. So I'm just happy to have more shooters in the United States anyway, because they don't really come out that often. And when they do, they're usually low profile. So I'm happy to have this. It's a pretty old release, but happy to have it. There's the better picture of the cover. I love anime games just for their artwork, and I'll show you the artwork on the artwork on the limited edition is the same, just a little holographic thing going on. So yeah, came with an art book too, but that's got some fan service in it. So if you wanna see what the fan service looks like, you can just check out my unboxing video. Although it's very short, it gets to the point. I guess I got interrupted doing that video. I know this is a very long game pickups, but I have a ton of stuff. And the last game I got is for the PS4. It was a gift from my girlfriend's parents, as they got me a game. And it is actually a game I've really been wanting on the PS4, and that is Pinball Arcade. This comes with all of the tables. This is basically the physical copy of the downloadable title on PS4, and it comes with all the tables from the first season. I I'm not sure how many that is. Does it say? 20 tables, which is awesome. And it did come complete. There's no manual, just the disc. I have played all the tables. Oh, 22 tables, my bad. But I've played all the tables, and I enjoy most of them. Some of them seem kind of barren in the midsection. Like, if you miss, or if the ball is going to go in the dead zone, in between the paddles. And some of the more barren tables, you can't really do much about it to get that fixed. Like, you can't shake it into a bumper or anything, so that kind of sucks. But most of the tables are very well done, and they are very, very true to real life pinball tables, is why I love this specific pinball game, is because it's very accurate. And I love that about this game, so... Yep, that is all of the gaming pickups that I have, and I know I had quite a lot. Some, I had some flea market stuff, and, I just had a ton of stuff. So let's do a little bit of an overview. We have that for Game Gear. We have that for PS1. For PS2, we have these. For original Xbox, we have these. For PSP, we have these two movies. For DS, we have this. For Xbox 360. And lastly, for PS4, we have that. Yeah, so that's all I have for you guys today. I thank you guys for checking out this video and subscribing. I have almost 300 subscribers now, which I'm very, very thankful for. I love to talk to you guys in the comments. So, if you want to drop me a comment, I read and respond to as many as I can. So, yeah, which I do pretty well with responding to comments. I hit probably about 90 to 95% of them. So, yeah, and, if you have any suggestions for videos that you might want to see, just let me know, and I'll film it, and, yeah, eventually, this month, I'm going to do a, updated, PS3 collection, since I have, probably about 30 to 35 more PS3 games than the last time I did that video, which was last year. So, that's got to be, updated. And I usually try to do that about once a year. So, yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.